Okay guys, Mike's going, okay, I probably won't be looking at the camera, I'm probably going to be concentrating a lot, so forgive me, but I want to get this dream down before I totally forget it. I'm in this dream, and I'm kind of in this woman's body. She's kind of a tourist in a kind of opulent church, yet you can see it was built over a very simple monastery. And there's all these tourists going around, and they're taking these pictures, and yet she can kind of see back through time, and she can see how the monastery was. And on this very simple bench, there are these two monks, or friars, whatever you'd call them. And they had these kind of rough brown robes on, you know. And the one was very old, and he had white hair and blue eyes, and he was doing a bit of sewing. And I think he was sewing together kind of like a tapestry that kind of had a map of the world. Somehow it got torn. And there was a young brother with him who had the, you know, the cut, the sort of halo cut they have, and had sort of curly red hair, and he was absolutely looking at this, you know, older monk with, you know, absolute adoration in his eyes. It escapes me now what the older monk was telling him, but he was speaking to him as he worked. And the younger man was just looking at him with absolute adoration. And, you know, you could feel the love was far beyond anything you've ever seen on this planet. It was absolutely amazing. And he was watching this much older man work, and it was amazing that this, you know, this young man and this much older man found each other. I got the sense that the younger man wanted what in the Middle Ages would have passed for. They could have had, it wouldn't make sense to us now, but they could have had a union in kind of like the Middle Ages, or was that before? Anyhow, I could sense he wanted one with this older man, but you know, he didn't dare ask. He was just so completely in love with him, and it didn't really matter to him if the, you know, older man had that type of formal relationship with him. He just loved him that much, and he absolutely, I can't get it across in words, he absolutely adored him, and you can feel the love between them. And the older man, he was kind of brilliant like the sun, and the younger man was kind of brilliant like the sun in his own way. Yet the older man, as he was sewing and he was talking, he was trying to pass on wisdom and a lesson to the younger man. And I think the younger man was getting it, but he had to mature yet to learn this lesson. And again, I can't recall the words now, though I could hear them in the dream. And when he was finished with his sewing, the older man, he put it away, and he laid down with his head in the younger man's lap. And you know, the younger man was just thrilled to be like keeping watch over him. And it was just amazing that, you know, there was that level of love. It's what is called agape, whatever the highest level of love is. It was just, you know, transformative for them both. And the woman that's sitting there, or it's me or it's not me or something, is watching them, and she realizes she was given a message. Here she was sitting in this, you know, modern day opulent church that had been built over this very simple, very tiny monastery. And these were two men that had absolutely nothing. They had taken vows of poverty. They only had exactly what they needed to have in the monastery. Like, if he was repairing that map, it was because they needed it for some reason. The tapestry wouldn't have been for decoration, it would have been for study or whatever. And they were kind of passing on the message to her that even though they had nothing and they had taken vows of poverty and they were some of the poorest people on earth, they were still happy together. And the message was the love between them, which I know I'm not expressing in words, but if you had been there and you had seen it, and it didn't even matter, it wasn't like the young man was waiting for a romantic element to happen. He was just so in love and so in awe with this, you know, this older brother, and by brother I mean person in a religious order, and he just, you know, he loved him like he was the moon and the stars and the entire universe. And the older, you know, man felt the same way towards him, and it was just, it was amazing, and it was so utterly peaceful with them there. It was, you know, like seeing, I guess if you would see two saints, that's the kind of impression you got. And they were both wearing the Franciscan robes, though I'm not sure, was it de la Salle that Francis entered? Whatever robes, but they looked like Franciscan robes. They looked very simple and like rough cut when you first saw them, but then like when you were leaving the scene, it was kind of like the robes transfigured and they became like kind of like a rich chocolate color, and the material was much softer. So yeah, that was interesting. I wanted to get that down. I know that didn't make any sense to you guys, but couldn't write it down. Didn't sense like I could write it down. I wanted to get it down before I completely lost it, and I wanted to have a recording of it and have it somewhere where I could access it. I first went straight away to Legba, and I got my own interpretation of the dream. But you guys can make of that what you will. So if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.